Hi folks, this is the PlanesTalkers. This is Sean.
And I'm Rez.
And we'll be doing our part 2 of the Aether Revolt spoilers.
Yep, we're now officially, I think, in spoiler season, and we've got a whole bunch of cards since the last time we talked. So let's get through them.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this set.
Yeah, Kaladesh has been such a great limited environment. I'm hoping that the cards in Aether Revolt will make Standard the environment that limited is.
Yeah, they've been actually getting killed in sales in Standard tournaments. Not a lot of tournaments. I know for us, we can't even find Standard to kick off around us anymore.
Yeah.
We're in a very populated area.
Yeah, we're in a very populated area. We used to have no problem. We have 4 or 5 stores around us, and Standard has become all but non-existent.
Yeah, if we went to 2 different ones in a weekend, couldn't even get it to kick.
Yeah, and we have very low standards for how many it needs. The one store only needed 7 people to fire an event,
And one needs 4.
and they could, and 4, and they couldn't even get that. So I'm hoping these cards will breathe life into the Standard environment. So here's our first card we're looking at: Battle at the Bridge. It is a black and an X. It's sorcery speed. It has improvise. Your artifacts can help you cast this spell. Each artifact you tap after you're done activating mana abilities pays for 1 colorless. Target creature gets -X/-X until end of turn, and you gain X life.
Yeah, this is very oddly worded. Like, the improvised
improvised mechanic, but if you look back, that's the way they word those type of mechanics. It's really weird. I agree. It just sounds weird.
So it wants you to tap all your mana abilities first, and then use this new Convoke ability.
Right.
This artifact Convoke. So it's, I don't know, they could have worded it a little better.
They could have worded it better, but as far as the spell going, -X/-X, you gain X, I think it's very playable. I think it'll be great in white-black token decks.
Yeah, the
with all those servos.
Will be very good with this. Honestly, this card is very good in just many different decks. I don't know how much play in Standard we'll see. If Standard stays exactly the same as it currently is, this card will see no play.
I agree. It doesn't answer any of the threats. It doesn't answer Emrakul. It's sorcery speed, so it doesn't answer your Copters. It does nothing against the Marvel Works decks.
It does nothing against Flash.
Yeah, so the fact that sorcery speed is really limited, it's a great card. I'm loving it in limited, but you're right, I don't think it answers any of the problems in Standard.
All right, then we'll move on to our next one, which supposedly fixed stuff in Standard.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Constant Crackdown, 3 colorless, 2 white, 2 white, so 5 convert mana cost. This is an enchantment. When Constant Crackdown enters the battlefield, exile all artifacts your opponents control until Constant Crackdown leaves the battlefield.
So, this was, I guess, their hate card that we've been asking for, but if it costs 5, it can't be hate card.
It's a 5, yeah, it's 5. There's not a ton of enchantment removal, so that's good, but at the same time, it doesn't. By the time this comes down, Copter's done its work.
Yeah, Copter's already smashed you pretty heavily.
The only thing this could hate out is
the Aetherworks Marvel deck.
The Aetherworks Marvel, or I'm thinking the Gearhulks.
Gearhulks or Panharmonicon could suffer for this.
Right.
But no many people are going to be playing this card to just hate on those very specific.
I got a feeling Wizards expected the Gearhulks to be bigger than they were.
Yeah, I don't know what Wizards was thinking, but yeah, I think you're right. I think they were thinking that Gearhulks would be the big problem.
And they're clearly not. And the other thing is, it doesn't exile artifacts after you play this.
It should exile all colorless cards.
All colorless. Get rid of the Eldrazi's.
Yeah, but non-land, all non-land colorless cards, and then it get rid of.
I still don't think it's good.
Well, if it did that, it could at least get rid of Emrakul.
Yeah, but by the time Emrakul does its
well, that's its turn. Like, if you had this in your hand and Emrakul takes your turn, and you played it, like, they could either play that on your next turn that you get after that Emrakul turn, you just play it and get rid of Emrakul.
Yeah, but by then they've already taken my turn.
Yeah, but if you didn't have much to do.
Oh yeah. So in Dream Fairy Tale Land, where I didn't have anything to do anyway, where they'll probably end up pitching this to one of my other, it's too little, too late.
Yeah, this to me is 100% a Commander card.
A Commander,
it's like broken.
Yeah, I love it in Commander, but you're right. It's too little, too late. It's just it was supposed to fix things, but I don't think it did. All right, on to the next one.
Dark Intimidation. Yeah, Dark Intimidations. So this is 2 colorless, a blue, a black, and a red. So the Bolus traditional colors. Each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, then discards a card, and you return a creature or planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand, then discard, then draw a card. So this also has another ability. When you cast a Bolus Planeswalker spell, exile Dark Intimidations from your graveyard. That Planeswalker enters with another loyalty counter on it.
So I'm wondering if we're going to see Bolus this set or next set, because it seems weird that they're referencing Bolus already, if there's no Bolus Planeswalker in the set.
Well, it'd be really weird to make a Bolus card without Bolus in the set.
Right, exactly. But a lot of speculation about what this is. A lot of talk that Bolus will have no plus abilities.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the only thing that would make this card make a lot of sense, is if Bolus had only a minus and like 2 zeros or 3 zeros.
Yeah.
But in reality, I think Bolus needs to be a super strong Planeswalker.
Well, that's the idea, is he's going to have a super awesome ultimate, and the only way to get his ultimate is to have this crazy setup, where this is in the graveyard, maybe you've got an Oath of Gideon there, and things like that, just to get that extra loyalty without actually being able to plus him.
In reality, then, the ultimate should just say win the game.
Well, it could say that. I mean...
I don't know. This card is...
Take control of all creatures in all decks.
But this card is borderline terrible, depending on Bolus. Either it's great or it's going to be awful. There is no in-between for this card.
Yeah, it all depends on what that Bolus is and how that works. It is typical Bolus colors. The artwork's kind of pretty. I don't really see Kaladesh there, though.
I think those are really some of the...
Yeah, it's some of the old... but
machinery destroyed.
But Kaladesh, I haven't really been seeing anything where it's getting destroyed. So...
Well, Bolus is around a lot of things.
Well, if Bolus is around, a lot of things... But that's the question. Is Bolus around? I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
we're going to be moving on, though.
Yeah, it's a card that remains to be seen.
To disallow. A lot of people are really high on this card.
Oh, I am.
And I think it's just a cancel on steroids, but...
Well, the thing is, it's a 3 convert mana cost, colorless, blue, instant, counter target spell, activate ability, or triggered ability. That activate ability or triggered ability is the key. It's one cheaper than the summary dismissal.
So it does answer Emrakul.
Mm-hmm. Well, it answers half of Emrakul.
Yes, you can either counter Emrakul or you can
counter the ability.
Odds are you're going to be countering Emrakul anyway.
Well,
it's easier to deal with
but
lose your turn.
The fact now that we can have 4 disallows and 4 summary dismissals.
That still doesn't help.
It helps against Emrakul, at least. It's something against Emrakul.
Yeah.
None of these other cards have been answers to the current standard. This is at least trying to.
The best thing about this card is if somehow they have a Aetherworks Marvel down, and then you counter the ability of it.
That would be interesting. So I think this is at least going the right direction.
I still think Summer Dismissal is a better answer to Emrakul than this card is.
Oh, Summary Dismissal absolutely is, but it's also 4 mana. And the fact that we only have one of those type of cards in Standard right now.
Yeah, well, they never really had counter-activated ability or triggered ability.
There's one card in the past that did. I forget what it was. Stifle, yeah. But I think it's better than some of the other cards.
And Stifle was 1 mana.
Yeah. Well, you can't do that now.
No.
1 mana count is not happening.
But we're going to talk about our favorite oath.
Oh, by far, I think my favorite oath. So this is Oath of Ajani. It is green and white, legendary enchantment. When Oath of Ajani enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on all creatures you control, and Planeswalker spells you cast cost 1 less to cast.
So I love this card. Everyone is so down on this card, and I have no idea why.
Yeah, the price started at $10, $12, and now it's down to $2 or $3. I think it deserves the $10 price tag.
I think it should be it's probably the most valuable by far of the oaths.
Of the oaths, I agree. It's 2-colored, which was a little bit different than all the other oaths.
The big problem people have with this one is that they think it does 2 different things. But there was a green-white tokens deck that would have loved this.
Yes, there was.
In previous Standard. And that deck has just been waiting in the sidelines.
I agree. I think it's going to come back with a vengeance. The fact that this is one card that, yes, it does 2 different things, but those are 2 different things that I want to do. I want to buff my entire team in a tokens deck, and I want my Planeswalkers to cost less. I want to be able to go into a cheap Gideon, a cheap Nissa.
Yeah, you play this on turn 2. You play Gideon on turn 3.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that? And then I follow that up with a Nissa.
The worst thing about it is if you play this card on turn 2, it almost does nothing besides lowering your Planeswalkers. If you play it late game, it doesn't matter because you have too much mana anyway, so that you can play your Planeswalkers. I get the argument there, but at least it's a late game play, and it's an early gameplay, unlike some of the other oaths.
Right. And I'm more thinking like turn 3 Gideon is great, but I'm thinking turn 1 Mana Dork, turn 2 Oath of Ajani, turn 3 Nissa, 5-drop Nissa.
Well, they don't give us 1-drop mana dorks anymore.
Oh, it's a 2-drop mana dork. You're right. That's a shame.
They're all 2-drops.
Yeah, they're 2-drops. But still, I think the Oath of Ajani is going to be great. I think it's going to bring back the green-white tokens deck.
And honestly, it could be played in Modern.
And if it's aggro, that's exactly what we need in Standard. We're missing a really fast, really aggro deck.
To punish these other ones.
To punish these Marvel decks. I don't think it'll do well against Delirium, which is still the big boogeyman, but...
Well, I think it will. Delirium relies heavily on valuing you out. And Planeswalkers are super strong at value.
This is true. Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. So let's take a look at our next card here. This is the second in the Quick Spy.
The Quicksmith series, yeah. So we saw the first one, which I did not like. It started out as like a $2-3 card or something, and then now it's like $1 or 50 cents. It's not a very good card. This one, I think, is ridiculous. It gives you a infinite draw engine. I mean, yeah, it dies relatively easily. But it being flipped around from this 3-2 to a 2-3 actually helps it very, very much so compared to the Rebel.
So the Quicksmith Spy is a 4 convert mana cost, 3 colorless and a blue creature, human artificer. When Quicksmith Spy enters the battlefield, target artifact you control gains tap. Draw a card for as long as you control Quicksmith Spy. Whereas the Quicksmith Rebel was a 4 convert mana cost, 3 and a red. When Quicksmith Rebel enters the battlefield, target artifact you control gains. Tap. This artifact deals 2 damage to target creature or player for as long as you control Quicksmith Rebel. So do I want to draw cards or do I want to deal 2 damage? And I agree.
Format, I want to draw cards.
I want to draw cards. Blue definitely wants to draw cards. And I agree being 2-3 rather than 3-2 is much better.
Yes.
I'm much more likely to have the Spy stick around.
And you get at least 1 draw. So the Spy cycles itself. I mean, the Rebel, you're only going to get at least 2 damage. Mm-hmm. If it's on the battlefield, because they're gonna probably Galvanic Bombardment it and kill it,
right?
Or Harness Lightning and kill it. But at least with Quicksmith, I got a free card back.
Yeah, assuming you have an artifact on the battlefield.
I wouldn't be playing this if I didn't.
Yeah, I agree, but that is what worries me is, do I have an artifact where I can make this worthwhile? Because if not, this is kind of a dead draw. A 4-drop that if my board's set up where I don't have an artifact. A 4-drop 2-3 that does nothing else.
It's very true. You do need artifacts with this card, so you definitely have to build around it. But with Panharmonicon, that does trigger twice, so you get 2 tap 2 artifacts and things like that.
True, I can make 2 different artifacts.
Yeah, so
blue-white is going to like this with the Thraben Inspector. Make a clue into a just tap and draw rather than pay and draw.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of things to play around with the Quicksmith Spy.
And our last card is our big Planeswalker.
The Big Daddy Tezzeret.
Yeah, Big Daddy Tezzeret. Tezzeret the Schemer. What a great name. 4 convert mana cost, 2 colorless, a blue and a black. It comes in with 5 loyalty. It's +1. Create a colorless artifact token named Aetherium Cell with tap. Sacrifice this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. -2 is target creature gets +X, -X until end of turn, where X is the number of artifacts you control, and -7 is you get an emblem with at the beginning of your combat on your turn, target artifact you control becomes an artifact creature with base power and toughness 5/5. I'm not all that impressed with it.
No, I do think there will be some cards in the set that have these Aetherium cells.
Mm-hmm. Basically a Lotus Petal.
It's very specific. Yeah, it's a Lotus Petal. I mean, they should just call it Lotus Petal. But they're Aetherium cells. And I really think that there's going to be a lot to deal with in this set. So this Tezzeret may or may not live and die based on that +1 ability over all the other abilities.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. For being the big baddie of the storyline.
I honestly think the dual deck one's probably better than this one.
Yeah, that's kind of scary. That the dual deck... And we thought the same thing about the Ajani. We thought that the dual deck Ajani might even be a little bit better. But Not only that, the dual deck has a much better name.
He costs significantly more, but his minus ability can actually win you the game on the spot.
Yeah. I agree. And his ultimate, I think, is better, too.
And his ultimate wins you the game on the spot.
Yeah, his ultimate's much better.
Unless they have no creatures. But in reality, they both come in with 5 loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Tezzeret, the Schemer, gets his ultimate a little easier. But the Master of Metal finds artifacts and then kills your opponent.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Tezzeret in this set.
No, I don't think he's very good.
So hopefully, maybe they're holding out one last Planeswalker, and we'll get that Bolus Planeswalker, but...
I think they could easily drop 2 more.
2 more? That's a lot of Planeswalkers in the block, then.
I think they're doing a Yahenni.
A Yahenni? Okay.
Well, they'll... Maybe.
Is Yahenni a Planeswalker?
Who knows?
Who knows?
I don't pay attention to the lore.
They make Planeswalker. Everyone's becoming a Planeswalker.
Soon I'll be a Planeswalker. So will you.
That would be nice. I could have my own Planeswalkers card. I might do as much as Tezzeret the Schemer then. So that is it for part 2 of our spoilers for Aether Revolt. We'll see you again when the next group comes in. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and tell us what idiots we are. How is Tezzeret going to make your deck that much better?
Yeah, definitely comment about how you disagree with all of our opinions.
All right. We are the PlanesTalkers. I'm Rez.
And I'm Sean.
And we'll see you next time.